All right, it's Bounty again. It's still raining a little bit. We had I guess the best way to describe it would say a torrential downpour. If you see my tomato plants, tomato mater, depends on where you are, if I said it right. Tomato, they're leaning over. We didn't have a lot of wind. We had a pounding rain. These are my super hots. You know, they vary between Dorset Naga, Scott's Brain, Carolina Reaper, Chocolate Bootla. I mean, you know, there's a whole array of super hots. You know, these are not jalapeno, like Death Spiral. Think about the name, what that would mean, Death Spiral. That's a hot pepper. I love them. But anyway, you know, they seem to be standing tall. I'll kind of show you what I've done. This is my first year growing these type of peppers. They're slow growers and stuff like that. So I've been kind of experimenting the first time. I have topped some of these. I've noticed all this new foliage starting to grow under the big main leaves. They look rough. So I went ahead and, you know, elected to top them. I took it off of there. This one has really shot out a lot of new foliage down in here. So, you know, some people say, oh, you should have topped them, you should let them go, they'll be just fine. All right, I understand that. I'm good with that. I do understand what you're saying. But this is my first year growing. That was a leaf. I don't know how that got gone. But you see all the new foliage up under there? That's all going to be new branches. And like I said, this is my first year growing. And I figure that the first year should be my worst year. You know, I may be wrong thinking there. There's people that know a lot more about it than I. But I went ahead, you know, and elected to do that. You know, I'm going to document every bit of it. So this is the first video that I've put out here, letting you know what I've done. All right, but with all that being said, I believe since that downpour, it may be signs of things to come, and we have a lot more on that. I will be putting my tomato plants, you know, and there's two varieties in this row, and then there's a variety over there in that little area. But, you know, it does hurt my feelings to see them all leaning over. I mean, these suckers are jumping, people. I mean, I'm getting 2 to 3 inches of growth per day. I mean, I believe if I set a chair out here, I could watch them grow. But, oh yeah, there's one plant here I want to talk about. This tomato plant right here, people. You see how it's kind of mounded up compared to the other ones? This one was broken somehow. It was severed in two. It was 2 pieces from the root system to the top part of the plant exposed outside the ground. It was broken away, and I was like, oh my God, well, it's probably going to die. But just for giggles and hoots and hollers, I just stuck it back on the top of it and then mounted the dirt around it. This was like 3 days ago. The only damage that is like that was a leaf. This plant has grown. So I don't want to disturb the ground around it and see what has transpired to bring this tomato plant back to life. Because, I mean, it was totally broke apart. It was two pieces that needed to be one. And I don't know what possessed me to just try it. I stuck it on top of it, mounted dirt around it, and now I have a growing plant again. So that was, you know, that's pretty awe-inspiring. I am not kidding, people. You know, like it should be this size. See how big that is? And these things have grown so much. Well, evidently that's why this one's so small, because you know what? I'll tell you what. Let me look at that. Look at there. I'm not going any further. You see the roots coming from there? Either this tomato plant has either re-rooted or maybe fused itself back to, you know, what it was broken from. But yeah, let me tell you, people, that is a true story right there, and I am amazed. It is hard for me to believe. Here's another little thing I want to kind of address. You see how kind of distorted odd shape in the leaves and the new foliage coming out of these super hots. This is a death spiral. That's a death spiral. You see how the leaves come out kind of elongated, deformed, you know, quite entertaining to view. You know, I don't know if that's normal or if that's some type of genetic defect in the way the leaves form. But when I did top these chocolate Bootla and these 2 reapers here, or 3 reapers, you know, it did have that odd looking foliage, the new foliage like this right here, and I was, you know, I didn't know if it was stressing the plant, if that was it, and that's what made me go ahead and start taking that stuff off. But here's some of the other stuff. I am embarrassed that I have not cleaned it out and weeded out like I should. We've had a lot of rain here lately, but everything seems to be doing good. My squash, my cucumbers, my cherry tomatoes, all these things seem to be working quite good in the areas that I've got them. I would like to note that it does seem, if these tomatoes, now if you look up here, the that's a pecan tree. It's a fairly old pecan tree, but it casts out a lot of shade. So, you know, these tomatoes don't get full sun until I'd say around 12:30, 1 o'clock, you know, around high noon or so. It does seem that the tomatoes, however you want to call it, it does seem that they grow and fare just a little bit better with that type of shade. Because if you know, if you look, like, you see how much bigger than it is to that one, You see these? You see how much bigger they are? The only difference that I can tell you is that they have more shade than the smaller ones. I don't know if it's me, because, you know, this one is fairly decent inside. I don't know, you know, because a lot of people tell me that I need, you know, more sun, the better for tomatoes, or ever how you would like to say it. But, you know, and this is just another little area, but these big leaves here on my squash, it's just a regular rudimentary yellow squash. I don't know any other term. Yes, I do need to weed. I know. But anyway, these all grow within the last 4 days. All that stuff. These things are growing. It lets me know that the nutritions, the fertilizers, and the soil is rich enough for maximum growth. Yes, I'm trying to talk and sound smart, but, you know, I feel good about what's going on here. I got a volunteer, people. I'm going to call it an eggplant. All right, I don't know. This was some a little hole we filled up throwing some of the, you know, stuff away that some of what we said, you know, was broke or undesirable, whatever. And then I had this to sprout up. Oh, I'm going to grow it the term. So, yeah, be watching. If you made it this long in the video, be watching. I'm claiming this is a eggplant. Please put in the comments below what you think it might be. But yeah, you know, I do need to mow. Grass is growing at a rate here that I don't like to mow. But you know, anyway, this grass is growing. I'm lazy. I've been hanging out doing things and in the house and live streaming. But anyway, people, thank you for watching what I got going on. I've been philosophical about things here lately. Made mistakes. I think the best way that I can grow like these plants are growing, best fertilizer for the bounty, is admitting those mistakes. Thank you for being with me and listening to me whine and wallow in my self-pity. Thank you for watching what I grow. I love you, mean it.